So I watched a movie in theaters a couple days ago, and I wanted to get my thoughts in because I didn't want to review it as soon as I saw it because I knew that it would be one of those movies where I'd have to sit on it a little bit. You know, it's not a movie where I feel like you can just review it as soon as you come out because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to this movie. It's 2.5 hours long, and I feel like this is one of those movies where walking out, I was like, that is the movie of the year. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Marty Supreme. I went into this knowing that the Safdies split up after Uncut Gems. I have seen Good Time and Uncut Gems. Good Time is, in my opinion, the better of the two. I like Uncut Gems as well. I think that movie is also fantastic. I give them both 10 out of 10 on Letterboxd, but I think Good Time is just a much better movie than Uncut Gems. So, anyway, I went into this movie knowing that the two split up, and seeing that Josh Safdie was the one who directed this film and not Benny, who also directed The Smashing Machine, which I haven't seen, but I knew that those two split up, so I went into that with that in mind. So I didn't know what to expect. The trailers made it seem interesting. I knew it was a biopic, but from the trailers, it didn't look like what you'd expect out of a biopic. It wasn't like The Apprentice or like God, what was that shit movie? Not shit movie because I haven't seen it. But it didn't look that interesting. Springsteen and Elvis, or like I don't know, what's another biopic that's not musical? You get what I mean. Basically, it looked like a generic Oscar bait biopic, so I didn't know what to expect. I went into this knowing it was directed by the Safdies once again, or Josh Safdie, not Benny. So, and here's the thing, this movie is really, 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 really good. The first trailer made it seem like a generic biopic. The second trailer was a little more interesting. It looked a little more like what I'd expect out of the Safdies, just very anxiety-inducing, very exhilarating, not fun. I wouldn't call this movie fun. Just like how I went into a Good Time because I heard that it was exhilarating and anxiety-inducing. I went into Good Time and Uncut Gems thinking it was going to be fun. That's not the kind of fun, or that's not the kind of exhilarating you get. It's very suspenseful. It's very anxiety-inducing. It feels like it's building up to something that's just gonna blow up in the main character's face. And that's kind of what you get in this movie, except it's very different. This is probably my favorite of the Safdies, or like my second favorite. I have to rewatch Good Time because I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen it in about a year or so. But yeah, anyway, this movie was really good. I loved it a lot. I think the opening is very funny, and it's pretty damn like it's pretty symbolic for what Marty goes through in this movie, Marty Mauser or whatever. I know it's inspired by a real life guy, Marty Reisman. I don't know why they called him Marty Mauser in this movie. I think it's just part of his name, whatever. Basically, this movie has a very interesting opening scene and opening credits with Forever Young in the for the song choice. And it's interesting because Forever Young was in the beginning of this film, and Everybody Wants to Rule the World was a track that played at the end of this movie, yet it's a movie that takes place during the mid-40s to mid-50s, or like the 40s and then the 50s, or something along those lines. So it's interesting that they have a track from the 80s in this movie, but it doesn't feel out of place, so yeah, anyway. What this movie does really well is Timothy Chalamet. I only knew him from the Dune movies and from Interstellar and from Lady Bird. he wasn't really an actor who was on my radar. He just kind of appeared in movies um that I either like or that I didn't really care for. Like, I didn't really care for the Dune movies, even though his performance was solid. I didn't really care for those movies all that much. I respect them though. Anyway, like I said, basically what I want to say is Timothée Chalamet is not an actor who I've really cared about. But after this movie, he gives basically the performance of 2025. Like, I thought it would be Leo for One Battle After Another, who was really damn solid. But but Timothy really surprised me here. He gave a great performance as this sleazy, almost chaotic mess of a guy, but he's also very funny and charming, and I really liked his character. He was very fun to watch, even though he's a mess of a person, and that's kind of what this movie is about. It's about him being an absolute mess, and him basically going through this absolute roller coaster of emotions throughout this film. Like, there's a shootout near the end. Once again, if I didn't say this, spoilers, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to I just wanted to talk about what happened in this movie because it's great. It really is great. But yeah, there's a shootout in this movie. The table tennis scenes are very intense and like very fun to watch at points, but the last scene involving the match between Marty and the Japanese guy, that was that was pretty intense. The ending also felt like Whiplash, where it's very ambiguous. You can basically interpret it in many ways. And it seems like one of those movies where people take the wrong message, like in Whiplash, like how people see Whiplash as this inspirational movie when I think it was more so trying to be a cautionary tale than an inspirational film. So yeah, I took it more as Marty realizing that he has to take on responsibility because he can't live his life as a mess of a human being. When he sees, spoiler alert, when he sees his baby being born, that's him realizing that he has to take on responsibility, and he has to basically not be a complete mess. I think the ending wraps it up really nicely. What what I also liked about this movie is the score. I think it's very well done. I don't know if it was the same guy who did Good Time and Uncut Gems, but it felt like the score from Good Time and Uncut Gems. It's very hard to describe, but it feels like it captures that energy perfectly, and it's like it almost feels like a Trent Reznor score, like a Trent Reznor score, but I know it wasn't made by Trent Reznor. I know it wasn't composed by Trent Reznor, or like Nine Inch Nails. I believe that's his band. It felt like almost a Nine Inch Nails kind of thing. Not completely industrial rock, but it almost felt very interesting and very unique, and it perfectly captured the chaotic energy of this movie, and it was perfectly appropriate for the scenes. Something that I also really liked about this movie was the cinematography. It was really good. It looked beautiful, and what I really like is that it switches from this like stationary style where you can see Marty running and it's sideways basically. It's feels very stationary, and then when the scenes get like not really anxiety inducing but stressful, like you feel like you're in the room, right? And he's talking to people, and then he starts talking to somebody else, and people start talking over him. That kind of stressful energy. I really like that it was handheld in those specific moments, and it was handheld for a lot of the scenes that induced a lot of stress. And I like that constant switching of camera styles where it will be like stationary and handheld, and well, stationary in the sense that it moves pretty fluidly, and then in some scenes it'll be handheld. What I also really liked about this movie was the dude from Shark Tank was in this movie, and he's really good, but he kind of plays himself. Um, he wasn't in the movie all that much, but he was pretty solid. Tyler, the creator, is also in this movie. I thought the scene he was in was really good. The scenes he was in were really good, and basically, what I want to say is that everyone in this movie, not just Timothy, was really good, including his girlfriend and the actress character. Gwyneth Paltrow plays an actress who's the Shark Tank dude's um, wife, and there's an interesting like dynamic there where basically Timothy's character Marty and Gwyneth Paltrow's character and the Shark Tank dude, they're all using each other, and it's pretty sick and twisted, and I just liked it. I thought it was very intriguing. Something else that I have to note about this movie, because I can't stop glazing this movie because it is truly amazing. I didn't know what to expect going in, but coming out, it was phenomenal. And it's honestly my favorite movie of the year. So that was a surprise, honestly. It was one battle after another, but this movie takes the cake easily as my favorite film of 2025. And I hope Timothy gets the Oscar, really. But yeah, anyway, something else I liked about this movie was the production design. It looked really nice. It looked like it was from the 50s. I really liked the. I just liked the story and the pacing. It moved so quickly despite the 2.5 hour runtime, and for a movie to feel like basically a quick in and out, and then like and it almost doesn't feel the length. When a movie doesn't feel its extremely long length, that's a positive to me, honestly. And which is funny because I also recently watched Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and that movie felt like fucking 4 hours long, even if it was like an hour and 40 minutes, whatever. Basically, what I want to say is this movie is a masterpiece, and I was shocked at how fantastic this movie was, honestly. And in a year where I was a little disappointed with the movies that came out and the movies that people talked about, like Sinners, well, there were more movies than Sinners, but Sinners was one that I was really disappointed with when I watched it. But then I watched this movie and it was phenomenal, honestly. This shocked me. It was the biggest surprise of 2025 for me. So really, what rating would I give this movie? I would honestly give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's incredible. As soon as it comes to streaming, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna watch this movie again and again because it is truly a masterpiece. So yeah, I just wanted to do this candid review because I know I haven't uploaded in a while, and that it has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't want to upload. It's just that I was focused on like high school and like college applications and stuff like that. So sorry about the 3 month long period there. But really, I will try to upload a little more candid reviews like this. And then once I get to them, I will also upload the video essays. But for now, I just wanted to upload this review because this was a movie that I watched a couple days ago and I had some time to sit on it. And wow, it is truly, truly a masterpiece that I was not expecting. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya.